A round of applause for you, the audience, and the people who are here right now before my very eyes. The feature is present. Mr. Fred Norman will give the King's wave in this case. He's over there. He'll be coming on pretty darn quick when we get up to that. And thank Fiona and Teddy. Fiona is back there. Teddy's still making pizzas. So if you like the food, give them an applause here. Get down here, ladies and gentlemen. What am I talking about here?
I don't know.
And Mr. Natural, we thank you for the video input and outflow as you know as we go. So, we have lined up and signed up and reinvested today. And I'll tell you my favorite political joke, which is George W. Bush. All right, so is there anything else that I forgot? Oh yes, you have 5 minutes on the open. We have door prizes. Let me show you some of these fantastic door prizes.
Francis.
Show us what's behind the door, Jay.
What? Door number 3. All right. Galactic Empires. It is a good collection of classic science fiction, not quite classic, but still good. Le Purgatorio. You should read in the book. He's a good book. $50 and a small set of cards and envelopes that I had nothing to do with and I got to get rid of, so they're there.
$50.
Hemlock Grove.
Oh.
Hemlock Grove. I only read part of it, but I liked it. Reading group choices. So this is a set of small prose pieces describing books which may be good for reading book groups. You might decide to look at this, look through this, and find a book you're interested in.
And on the back cover are all the publishing companies that
There you
are
go.
open to this kind of thing.
There
So
we
it's
go.
not a catalog from one publisher.
It's
actually
many.
a
Thank you.
good tool.
For the poetry. And then in the special categories, we have 2 collections of poetry. Mr. E's Mystery by David Erdreich. It has a CD in it. And this was Ralph LaCharity. He was here a couple weeks ago, and there's a CD in this. I read the whole thing. It's a really good book. But listen to the CD. If you're going to get this, get the CD and listen to the CD and read along. Much better. I mean, the guy has a great voice. If you were here, you would know what I'm talking about. And then, of course, the mini feature and the keynote opener. Today, the keynote is Karen Huff, and we have Justice coming up in the #1 spot behind her because I goof things up. But that's the way I do things. I goof things up, and I apologize. Wish my kids could do that. Anyway, so without further ado or don't, Ms. Karen Huff will be coming up here. Do you want to have the microphone like this or this? Because we can do it both ways.
I'd rather stand up.
You'd rather stand up. Well, I'm going to take the mic out of this, hand it to you there, and I will sit over here as if I know what I am doing.
You don't want that on the seat so people don't trip?
Here we go.
Okay. You don't want the speaker on the seat so people don't trip? No, that's okay.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Karen Huff, the keynote. Give her a round of applause to get this thing open and running as we've never done before.
This took a little thought and a lot of scrounging through the bookcase. And this is a selection from one of my all-time favorite poetry books. It's from Alice Walker's book, Hard Times Require Furious Dancing. The Taste of Grudge. 1. How many times life has seemed too steep a hill to climb? How many times the hill has disappeared like mist? I am carried in arms that planned adventure for my life. I sit nowhere, I am told to stand. 2. You will concern me in my dreams and in my hour of death. I love you in and out of all assignments. Obviously, we have work to do. 3. Do not fight the despair of harming me. To my kindness, you have been rude and moral. Something in life evens every score, and I am left to say, even if I disappear, be safe. 4. Let the joyful heart that knows the dance return. Sorrow has banished it, Grief has stilled my feet, but there remains internal movement toward life's merging, where all begins again in solemn beat. Who can completely stop a gift? My love will flow around your rocks, break your dam, and live in all the trampled plants of your foul wilderness. It is a bright spring, glowing, rippling, overflowing in the shade. I do not regret that I am imperfect. In each crack, there is an orchid growing, and chocolate serves me when I slip from grace. I do not relish perfection or sainthood. Flying through this existence as myself, I honor all the fierce edges I have made for myself, and the conundrums I have made for you. 6. There is no God but love, which is what I have become. Just a part, a tiny part of it, beyond anger, beyond blame. But not beyond the peace, still possible to all in this world. 7. I do not mourn. That is not the feeling I have, but rather I feel the cool darkness inside me steady as a slowly flowing stream. It glimmers and glows, but little yet lights my way. 8. You have hit a wall that was my open heart. Protection, not closure, has sprung up, like those weeds in Mexico we eat in salads. It just grows there, sent by angels, the same ones ageless, who are always looking out for me. I may die tonight. Perhaps you are killing me. I do not blame you for anything. You were part of the work I was given on this trip. You did your part. I did mine. 9. The journey of death, the journey to death, I do not fear. When you smell a rose or see one, or see a doe or jackrabbit, a leaf, a star, there I will be, sooner or later. And you will see. No anger followed me, no injury, no blame. 10. Save yourself. It can be done, even if the mind is shambled. Sit still, place your back against a tree like Buddha, and steady it. Silence it. It wants to go on possessing, controlling, raging, dictating, lying.
Thank you so much. Nice keynote. All right. Justice is coming up next. Tanya, please, with a mystery guest. At your behest.
So you want me to do my 5 instead of keynote?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm taking off.
Okay. All right. Sorry for the next one.
No, it's fine. What is all this?
Oh, those are all the door prizes. That's not here. And that can come here.
Spring cleaning already. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Justice Morgan.
Hello.
Hello. Since my work was compared to Carolyn Forshea and I didn't know who she was, I've done a considerable amount of homework. So I thought I was the keynote, so this is the piece. And I actually listened to her recited in Boston some years ago. So I'm going to try to emphasize where she's emphasized and give it a best shot. Why I like this piece It's probably only the second time in my life where words are concrete. And it's like live time as it happens, the way the rhythm matches the action. And I thought she did quite a fine job. It's called Departure. We take it with us, the cry of a train slicing a field, leaving its stiff suture. A distant tenderness as when rails slip behind us and our windows touch the field, where it seems the dead are awake, and so reach for each other. Your hand cups the light of a match to your mouth, to mine, and I want to ask if the dead hold their mouths in their hands like this, to know what is left of them. Between us a tissue of smoke, a bundle of belongings, luggage that will seem to float beside us. The currency will change and change again. Here's the name of a friend who will take you in. The papers of a man who's vanished. The one you will become when the man you have been disappears. I am the woman whose photograph you will not recognize, whose face emptied your eyes, whose eyes were brief, like the smallest of cities we slipped through. That's Carolyn Forche. So to show you how I work, Fred, there's a piece that I came across in a book called Beat, and it's more of a visual presentation of poetry. So Michael McClure did a book called Antechambers and Other Poems, and this one is called Borrowed Feet. Love me for the fool I am, the laughing angel imbecile, the thrill of kissing you, the see me reflected in your eyes. We try for purity, but still we're glorious blobs of meat. I worship you like blood or oil or wheat. Our love is flawed and swallowed by the rush of time. A mindless innocence, they say, is crime. We dance on borrowed feet. So he's going for tantric and he's still young and he's not quite getting there. So here's the response called Turning the Corner of Time. Our love is flawed and swallowed by the rush of time, of crime defiant, of fools thrilled in reflections, from blaze to ashes blind. Shreds of time and place, the momentary, the unfolding, the lost and the desired still. Determined, imaginations endless, relentless rediscovering, sharing a love never borrowed. 459-437. I'm reaching for the wine. My aura is calling. That's the phone number where Kerouac appeared, Circle on the Square in the 50s, I think 55 in New York. Last one called Sunday Kisses. Lips softened to a deep love, no past, no future, just this perfect now of kisses, as if we had all day long or a whole lifetime. Thank you.
All right. Owen, then Jack, then looks like Francis. Francis, no, that's you, right? Okay, so you got Owen, Jack, Francis, Stephanie, Karen, myself, Clara, and the Dave Clark Prime. They said they do. They promised. I told them, Dave, I said, Dave, if you don't do it, I'm going to be like, oh, so off.
Roll off. Thank you very much. Roll off.
I just want to make one. I just, before I forget, for Karen and Justice, when you read other people's stuff, I'd like to make a note of who, like later on, just write down who they were so I can add them when I write things up.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks. I figure that's only fair to those people who we get to hear.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Poem. The twilight melody speaks its solemn cares. People walk. The streets are tight and sincere. The music makes mere sounds.
Young girls stride by as if they were on parade. The twilight lilies become the evening. Poem. The sunny steps of the cathedral, the mind, the pollen cup, the stars from the nowhere to heaven, the slings and arrows of earth's death and dishonesty, and travail till the forwarded days, wanderings and wanderings, the wanderings and wanderings we so avail. Poem at Starbucks. Crudely persuade us, joy bestride the hours. I reach out to fantasize. The hour is quiet, pulsing rhythm makes my blood sing with joy. Autumn is approaching, there is nothing left of me. I will never see this hour again. I will see the sea again someday. Poem, thank you. The sky can come to host the clouds. Babies are by their mothers. The day is uninspired. I can speak of nothing. Metaphors have vanished. Maybe they will return tomorrow to tell me something about babies in clouds and the strange ways of the stars at night. Poem at Starbucks. Streets carouse, pounding rhythms, pouting lips, chest mess, adroit in an unusual way. There is no abstinence. Say as if to itself, walk the pitcher, funny men rejoice, the day is draining me of it all. Crooning makes me sleepy, couples holding hands make me dreamy. Sinatra is middle-aged, the day nods at me, I am not too self-assured, tired girls walk together. Oh, at Starbucks. Melody d'amour. The day talks, it is near the end, summer is frantic, I am somewhat pedantic. There is antic, hey, the lofty spires of inspiration, it is a sultry day, so fresh, Sally, so near. Dear hearts are everywhere, life is an English madrigal, love has wandered. Off this Columbus day was made for sleep, my deep dear darling, echoes of my flying pen, metaphors are everywhere, Christ is a stallion, pedantic is frantic, America is freaky. Poem. Horses at dawn, the harness of Homer. Two faces get on with cases, one a stranger, two with purpose, the joy be good. Stereo Steve, two cynics at dawn, altercation away with you. Shredding my being, it is nothing to frolic the learning me. I stop myself frantic first, I drool over Yule. The logic burns inside me, sleep blesses me. There are necessary doodads at auction. Gary Owen died for our sins. America freaks. Oh, at Starbucks. Bellowwood, Bellowwood. Below wood, we are fast and furious, pushy, punky, in particular, feasting and forgetting about fornicating, getting and spending. We lay waste, doggerel. Jogging can say my name in public, sesame and sixpence, sexy all. Well, at Starbucks. Manly violin, mostly Taurus, seasons are celestial, days is delight, point to the stars, saddest are sad of the sad sack, do unto others, cannibals glow, the foul rope leads the way, glory is downtrodden, space fills the stars, glorious troubadours, the Yankees are on the Yangtze, two rivers for Aquarius, can't cancel that good feeling, itch for every inch, Simon is silent, patrons are polite, death is dishonorable, USMC, pay for pain. Thank you very much.
Well timed. All right, Jack Melander, then Francis and Stephanie, Margaret Mead, Karen Hopkins coming back, myself, Clara, and the Dave Clark 7. Actually.
Yes, yes.
Did you want to read?
No, thanks. Not tonight.
Okay, just making sure. I'm giving everybody a chance.
this poem will disqualify me for reading the subsequent poem. When I review my intake, I have to start with air, inhaling which may make for inspirations rare, transcending vino heady, which can the fancy boost, but often is found unready when imagination is loose. Conditions of much breath, aerobic exercise, hope thrills be mocking death, to make the feelings wise. But what's the use of all this wit, if I must prove a hypocrite, reveal what love for size I've got, to prime them so with hits of pot. Has city air be so annoyed, must I puff stuff to be a man, as though, if bad I can't avoid, I must embrace the worst I can. So, this one is called The People's Will. The revolution of the consumer against the domination by industry is yet to come. It is perfectly feasible, and its consequences far-reaching, unless industry takes control of its fate and enforces its right to manipulate the consumer. That's from The Revolution of Hope by Eric Fromm, 1968. Though we long have known the seller to be beware of the seller, we deregulate his fraud, both domestic and abroad. Oh, fetch a doctor, quick, America is sick. Again, it's legal, each doctor pill may be hawked around in a litany of bad side effects. It could rack or kill. From the tube, now 3 times hourly, all healthy TV fans' ears must fill. But America's a democracy, so we know it must be the people's will. In technology's ascendancy, monopolizing its tendency runs towards stealing privacy and the rights to property. Well, fetch a doctor, quick, America is sick. But elected reps pass the people's bill, so too big to fail grows AT&T, the people's secrets promptly spill to the NSA, Orwellianly. Its security is overkill. But America is a democracy, so you know it must be the people's will. It shows compiling videos that we submit choose cheap shot flows is what we favor. It's not we there mirrored in indignity. Oh, fetch a doctor, quick. America is sick. But a kid gazing over his windowsill may a queue of citizens one day see for issues vote, not reps whose skill proverbial is taking bribery. For America is a democracy, and will know what must be the people's will.
Jack Calendar. The astute, well-studied, and esteemed, or sometimes upright. All right. Francis, you're coming up now, yes?
Yep.
And
You want us here? You want the lower screen? This screen?
No, I just need the fire.
oh, here.
Okay, I can do this.
Here we have, you got it. Don't do this at home. There are professionals.
This is a song they sing during the Day of the Dead, and it's about a woman who lost her children. So this is dedicated to all the women who've lost children. And it's called The Weeping Woman in English, or La Llorona. And I'm going to read the words in English and then sing it in Spanish. Everyone calls me the black one, black yet full of love. I'm like the green chili pepper, hot yet full of taste. Long ago and today, long ago I was something worth seeing. Today not the shadow of myself. They say I have no grief because they do not see me weeping. The dead make no noise at all, and they have a greater pain. Alas for me, La Llorona, sky blue Llorona, though it may cost me my life, I won't give up loving you.
Pero sabroso
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. So I hope you come back because that means you want to hear more. That's good. Boy,
Oh, I was just trying to show you a picture that.
That's what happens. And you know what you're doing. All right. Stephanie Manning is coming up before Karen Huff comes back. Myself, Clara Sue. She stands. Our renowned East Bay, West Bay, North and South Bay poet.
Thanks, Francis. That was beautiful. Full of the wind day.
Yes, it is.
Lord, God would save the wind day. So here's one I just read at La Promenade, so excuse me to people who have already heard it. It's called One Over Infinity. The sun shines on a person, on a team, on performers up there before us on the stage. Bright and sparkly, beautiful, handsome, attractive, powerful. Sunlight glints off their bling being paraded, and it shimmers peacefully with verve. So admirable. The circus, the backup singers, the teammates all around them. We want them like that, just like that, without knowing all their inner turmoil, pollution, the bunker oil and garbage down deep, the plastic swirl of the ages that dominates their thoughts. The fracking down in the plates that leads to corruption of their inner selves, the reversal of their magnetic poles as they make big life changes, and the gradual global heating that swells the Constitution against their banks as they age, leading to their inevitable demise. We don't want to know it, not that. We want to believe what we see, and to go to bed ignorant but happy, happy not to know anything like suffering. No, no, no. Can't handle that. Got a magnetic repulsion to change. And then I was thinking about all my troubles, and I kept thinking to myself, I'm just going to wind up stewing and stewing. So this is called Stew and Stew. The pot sits on the stove bubbling, cooking away. It is filled with the multiple issues of life. Carrots for health and long life. Potatoes for energy and the grace of movement. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme in the raw pursuit of pleasure. Only the onions, pepper, and hot stuff deliver the drama, the tension, uncertainty, and even possibly pain that a good tautology, logically concocted for maximum brain activity, can render in the design scheme of the master cook. Stew bubbles away for who knows how long, till at long last it is done, and the future now lies in the tasting.
Thank you, Stephanie Manning. Always concise and precise. Now Karen Huff is coming to do her open mic sequence. She was the keynote, but give her a round of applause for her own. Power of the mind is about to be unleashed.
This is mostly from 1969, and was dedicated to a friend named Kip. We fought together against the war, you and I. We both expected death in LA. Still, I stopped to talk a moment to the young cop on the corner. He was frightened too. You told me that Shay was your God. I told you it made me sad to see a healer gone mad halfway to a dream. You named your daughter Vanessa Libra, Free Butterfly, and took her to Ohio, where you taught school in some small river town. I didn't hear from you for months, and then you wrote in ancient ink on paper you'd made of hemp, "Dear sister, you must study hard. You do not understand the revolution." I wrote back in blood drawn from my finger on the bark of a willow tree. It does not matter. When a child is dying, what side you gods are on, or why you thought you needed evolution. Haven't thought about that one for a long time. Last bus. Listen to me. No one listens. I don't know why I even try. But that little boy, though, you've got to protect him. Got to pay attention to what I tell you. They are everywhere in the White House, all around us. Maybe right next door. You see that driver? He's one of those. A robot. You couldn't tell, but I know. He runs off the bus lights. All part of the plot. Here's my stop. Good night. He must be very lonely, you said, as night swallowed him whole. Zorro, I saw you dancing through the dusty yellow window of an old cantina in Nogales, all in black, spurs jangling as you pulled the mariachi music with you around someone's hat. You held a red rose in your teeth. I saw blood where a thorn had pierced your lip. Your eyes were candlelight and ice. I couldn't see their color. I loved you. I couldn't speak. I stole your horse.
Very nice. Thank you. Oh, okay. That brings us to me. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm enjoying myself this evening, and I hope you are too. So, I usually do a silly thing like pick a number because I don't want to be responsible so much for what I write, but I'm not going to do that. Huh? Okay. So this is called Young Hands. And in part, it's written about my older brother who passed away recently, and in part, it's about everything else that goes along with family. When our hands were young, when back in the days of sun and sand pouring through fingers, glistening water arching through the play cloud sky above the sandcastles built on Jamaica Bay, where the beaches and the oceans were just right, the sun not too hot, and all the time in the world. Young hands gathered autumn leaves, pitched them into a pyre, made toys of common items common enough to be found, when imagination transformed cardboard into machineries of joy, hands with slippery mud oozing between fingers shaping it into circles, pies. When our hands were young, when they were round, soft, and we knew them for what they gave us, the soft, furry, warm touch of a living creature held, cool, smooth things, silk, oil, for moving pieces on a board, rolling dice, shaking on it, crossing hearts, or holding cards close on a long Brooklyn summer's night. When our hands were young, when they held each other's in innocence long, long ago in a place far, far away, in a life, in a world that is no more. Our young hands played with their shadows, slapped five, clapped in time to the street beat. Our young hands shooting for odds and evens, pitching pennies, young hands long, long ago. Our young hands were promises, building hope and love above all. Nothing as they are today, long since losing what they held for us, which we felt slip from our fingers, and so gained what we call these appendages, which can clench or beat, or remain held close while our coffee table's distance away counterparts remain idle, while there lingers a distance of years-old hands which have forgotten to touch in a way our young hands never, ever would have. And so these don't reach out or soothe than others. When our hands were young, when they, childish, simple, long for finger paint, would fidget for something else to do and reach out for another's brother to brother in a world, in a time when our young hands had not pulled hard triggers, signed on to regret, closed into a clutch of our animal minds, pointed posthumously at pride and its temporal relics, whether buried or lost into decay, or hidden away in the dim, faded medals of honor left long out of hand, yet still which can draw us into our own long aching with time. I say, these aren't mine. How could they be? These things were free when our hands were young, when they were fine, a source of wonder as all young hands are, making many a magic marvel. I remember when our hands were young, way back when, and I knew I would never forget how, when our hands were young, when I would love and have love as simple as any touch could make it. Thank you. I was going to say before I did that, I can read whatever I want to because Clara Sue's coming up next, and if I bop it, she will rescue these things. So come up, Clara Sue. Give her around. She's a cool person.
I'm very glad to be back. I recently went to LA for a very short trip, and the only thing that I could think about while I was there was death, because of all the traffic jams that we have to suffer through. And but shortly before I went to LA, my cat Modi went away one night and never came back. Still not back. So I wrote this poem called Lost, and I incorporated the sense of what LA is to me and the loss of my cat Moti. And the poem ends with a line from Lawrence Ferlinghetti's poem, Moscow in the Wilderness, Segovia in the Snow. Lost. He left on my lap the morning of my leaving, as if to say goodbye. The clocks are all made dead on I-5. Death to the metal, death to the kettle, death watch. I came back, but he was gone without a trace. They are made dead on the grapevine. Dead is the metal, dead is the engine, dead is the merging line, the constellation, my only consolation, twinkling against a heart black. Never suffered, never want of needs. Did he leave because he felt the burning sensation to explore the wide, wild world? Or did he leave because he felt suffocated? The clocks are all made dead because they take dead on the table, dead on the mantel, dead on the wall. Cuckoo birds look on with plastic eyes. Death to the chains, death to the pendulums, death to the gears. Sheep graze on a hard bed in the warm Los Angeles air. Here was the page of swords, light and light active, with brown and black markings. I inquired the Celtic cross, his last card, the world, voyage, immigration, flight, change of place. Might this be heaven, where cars seemingly colliding yet slip away from each other like fish? Might this be eternity, that we've always died, but we've already died, and therefore cannot die again? He loved to chase butterflies and bees, brought broken wings home. A trumpet sounds, a puff of cloud rises from the ground. All that is lost must be looked for once more. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. This brings me to me in just one moment. our feature, Fred Norman, is going to be up here in a moment, and a teeny tiny tale to tell. So this is his book. Oh, hold on a second. Did you bring copies?
Yes, I did.
So he did bring some copies. They're available. But the story that I want to tell was, which freeway is it? I always forget. 24, right? Is it?
For what? Oh, yeah. Lafayette.
Yeah, okay. So the thing is, I was driving through that one day, and I looked up on this hillside there, and I saw like maybe 10 crosses or a small amount, right? It's just not very many. But this was years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, years ago. And I thought, gee, I wonder what that's about. It must have been a heck of a car accident here or something like that, right? I was wondering, because I thought, but then I kept on going by and I would see more and more and more. And I never really thought about it until I met you at that Reading in the East Bay, what is it, the deli?
Crockett.
Huh?
Crockett.
Yeah, but what's the name of the deli that we did the reading at? Huh? Paloma Deli, right. And that's where we first met, and then you showed me, and they go, oh, yeah. So I'm really proud and pleased to have him here, because I said, as soon as I heard him, he said, you have to come and do a feature there, and we agreed upon that. And this is a good book, like I say, he has copies of it. He's a passionate man, a man of faith and belief, and who takes action. He just doesn't say something, he does it. And I imagine if someone was on your bad side, they would not have a good day. Just saying, I don't know, just giving me a hard time there since I had a chance. Anyway, please welcome this man. Come on up here, Mr. Norm. Yeah, he's actually going to have a seat at the table, so if you cannot see him, you should probably adjust your location because he's going to sit.
Just here to be able to come forward with that now, you guys.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, the seats there or that. Oh, the seat there. What's that?
My own personal.
All this silly changing of mics is all because of me.
No,
it's not.
No, it's our wish to make you welcome and glad to be respected.
It's much more
At least we can make the mic right.
and less fatiguing. I think it's wonderful.
There we go.
I'm going to do it from now on.
Thank you. So nice to have everybody waiting on me. Yeah.
It's like every day.
Thank you.
And thanks for bringing your posse, as they say.
Had some friends of mine from Scotland show up.
Oh, for God's sakes, is it already? Ah, there we go. Now we got something. I could have called a really.
That would be neighborly.
Here it is. Give him a, now he's sitting. Well, give him a nice big welcome. Come on, come
Maybe they could use some Bobby Bird.
That's okay.
Anyway, Alfred. And my son and wonderful daughter-in-law. And Francis, it was so good to hear Francis. I'm a member of Veterans for Peace. There's a chapter in the city, and Francis begins each meeting and ends each meeting with a song, and he knows more of our kinds of songs than anybody I know. And Eric Fromm, The Sane Society I read, God, years ago, in the 50s, I guess, and it changed my life. I don't know if you read it, but it changed my life. Living in a sane society like we do. I'm just a poet. I write stuff. I have no idea if it's any good, but what I want to do is to get people to think about war, the killing of other people, the killing of innocent people, the killing of little children, little kids. My son was once a little kid. I walked with him many years ago, holding hands, his small hand soft and warm inside of mine. I'll never forget that feeling, that warmth. I walked again with him another day, his eyes filled with hot and bubbly tears.
too old by then to really cry, both of us hurting, neither knowing why. I had hit him with a sidearm curve thrown too hard, too fast, too man to man, thrown to teach him how to be a man when he really still was just a little boy. The warm hand, hot tears. I leaned back then. I learned back then, but only realized years later what it is to love a child. To love a child mine. To love a child Iraq. To love a child Afghanistan. To love a child all. War. Kill them all. Kill the children. Rape the women. And the men, kill all the men. Kill anything that breathes, the trees, the leaves. Soldier, please come home. Walk with your child instead. Hold his hand in hers. Feel the warmth. Dry his tears in hers. Do what it is that human beings are meant to do for children. So, if I'm asked why we have these wars, I have an answer, of course. But William Carlos Williams, I don't know what his answer is, but I believe that this is how William Carlos Williams would explain our wars. Yesterday, a little child in a little wagon. The little wagon fills with red. Today, a father bends to kiss goodbye a bundle wrapped in white. Tomorrow, so much depends on yesterday and today. Some people pray that the wars will end. I don't pray, but this is an open letter to Jesus. Dear Jesus, forgive me my presumptuous act of writing when instead I should be praying, the written word a beggar's pain, prayer a sinner's stain. Allow me to introduce myself. I am a former Marine and later an Air Force navigator bombardier, the first trained to kill up close and personal, the second trained to nuke the far-off city of Vladivostok, that unpolished jewel of far, far Pacific Russia, the home back then to 200,000 civilian men and women, and laughing little children, and crying little children, and at times frustratingly irritating little children, and at times lovable and adorable little children. Yes, Vladivostok, home to all of them, and home to the Russian Far East Fleet, the Far East Navy of that evil empire that would be my enemy when somebody told me so, at which time I would kill those little children, those children who remind me of my children. I would kill their mothers and their fathers, and I would kill the Russian Far East Fleet. I would nuke them all. Yes, this navigator bombardier would kill them in an instant flash, and this Marine more slowly kill up close and personal, one by one for many years, as is traditional. Dear sweet Jesus, this is who I am, but here I write to you or pray to you to ask, sweet Jesus, who are you? Would you be Marine today or navigator bombardier? Would you wear the dress blues proudly, pin your wings upon your flight suits, and gladly guide the plane that looks to others sadly, friend and foe alike, like a hungry bird of prey? Would you guide it in to kill, to its kill, to feed upon the little children, or would you merely slaughter one by one up close and personal until they all are none? Tell me, Jesus, for I look to you for guidance. Will you lead me into battle or lead me into peace? I am down upon my knees, I beg of you, oh please. I now will say goodbye, sinner who once would kill the innocent, asking, searching for an answer still. Dan mentioned the crosses of Lafayette. I've got some books there. If you want, they're $5. The money goes to the maintenance of the crosses. Twice a year they have a vigil. On the 11th, it's Veterans Day. They'll have another vigil. Come on out, get on board. It's easy. And I read a poem there on each one of these, starting in 2007. And because the war never ends, I don't know who will break first. This is the poem I wrote for Memorial Day this year. I am a veteran. I am a veteran. I am at a vigil honoring my fellow veterans who died in Iraq and Afghanistan. I am at the crosses of Lafayette in Lafayette, California. My crosses of Lafayette. Your crosses of Lafayette. Their crosses of Lafayette. And I am torn between anger and grief. I am at a Memorial Day vigil at the crosses of Lafayette in Lafayette, California. My 7th Memorial Day vigil at the crosses of Lafayette in Lafayette, California, and I am torn between anger and grief. After 7 years, I finally ask myself, what is the meaning of vigil? I search and research and find references to watchfulness, to quiet contemplation, to sadness, to prayer, but I find no references to anger. After 7 years, I finally ask myself, what is the meaning of memorial? I search and research and find references to honoring the dead, to remembering the dead, to grieving for the dead, but I find no references to anger. And I am grieving, yes, as one should grieve at a vigil, but why is it that I am so angry? I find no references to 3,000 dead Americans on 9/11. I find no references to 7,000 dead Americans in retaliation for those 3,000 dead Americans. I find no references to hundreds of thousands of dead Iraqis and dead Afghans. I find no references to little children and machine gunned while out gathering firewood. I find no references to droned wedding parties or destroyed families or unspeakable violence. I find no references to who. I find no references to why. But I know why, and I know who, and that is the source of my anger. I know why, and I know who, and that is the source of my grief. Anger and grief, why and who, the living and the dead. Who is on this hill? Let us bow our heads in grief. Why are they here? Let us raise our heads in anger. Who are the living? Who are the dead? Who am I, torn between anger and grief, not knowing what to do, not knowing how to feel, fists clenched, tears in my eyes. Perhaps anger and grief are symbiotic. Anger necessary to start a war, grief necessary to understand a war, both together necessary to end a war, to build a peace, to memorialize our family on this hill, to be one with them tonight in a vigil symbolizing our shared humanity. So come on out, Veterans Day, 5:30 in the evening. There are various things going on. I don't always write poems like this. I like to keep my poetry kind of ugly. I'm hoping to irritate people. It's hard in San Francisco to irritate people because I'm always reading to the choir. I need to go to Omaha and read some of this stuff. If I could only irritate people, maybe I could get them to think a little bit about what the hell they're doing, keeping these wars going. But anyway, I don't always write like that. Once in a while I write something that's sort of kissy sweet. This is called A Gift. My love gave to me a tiny redwood tree less than a foot in height. Its roots so fine they seemed to float in space like nervous ganglia in search of stimuli. Its trunk so slim, slimmer less by half the smallest finger of the hand that held it. Bark as thin as a newborn baby's skin. Needles, soft and gentle to the touch, belie the piercing meaning of their given name. I planted it and watched it as each year a light green beauty tipped a dark green base. Minutes into hours, inches into feet. Seasons passing, rain and sun producing miracles, while I, in wonder at its yearly growth, grew daily older, until one day a dreadful message came to me to fell my tree, because its height endangered wires that I thought instead endangered it, this life that love gave me. Love. Abstractions lose their clarity when defined. Dreams dissolve and disappear in an opaque distance filled with fading memories. Today becomes the past. Tomorrow suddenly is now. The flight of time reverses and consumes itself. Rebirth. It is time to plant another tree. Time to till the soil in which it grows. Time to open up the eyes and see. Open up the mind and think. Majestic, that tree. Magnificent, that gift. But of course, I can't stay away from the war. In Iraq, back, I don't know, 2007, around there. Anyway, those little kids were out on this hill gathering firewood, 10 of them, 10 little kids. All of a sudden, it'd be like one of these movies. American helicopter rolls out of the valley, started firing their machine guns. I will read the names. Khalid, son of Bismillah, 13 years old, gathering firewood to warm the family, gathering attention to warm the enemy, red-hot bullets to warm the blood, hot blood freezing hard and icy red, dead. Abid, son of Bismillah, 10 years old, brother to Khalid, dutiful son to father, loving son to mother, target to another, running, laughing, believing that the sun will shine forever, never knowing never, dead. Khalid, son of Ahmad Khan, 10 years old, he looks into the sky and confirms the sky is blue, the clouds are white, looks down, the earth is solid, almost solid, shaking slightly now, shaking more, spitting dust, dead. Ziaur Rahman, son of Misbah, 12 years old, playing with a stick, playing with a stone, mountain games he learned to play alone, together now with friends upon a hill, he kicks a stone to hone his soccer skill. Dead. Jawad, son of Sabanullah, 11 years old, goofy like a good kid's often goofy, hyper, always moving, always talking, smiling, sweet, wants a cell phone, wants to tweet a message to America. Closer, ever closer, dead. Isanullah, son of Sabanullah, 11 years old, twin of Jawad, twin of Afghanistan, son of Afghanistan, prince of the mountains, king of the hill, closes his eyes to escape the kill, to escape staring, identical eyes, dead. Shahidullah, son of Rahman, 7 years old. 7 years old. My grandson, 7 years old. 7. Shake the dice. 7 come 11, he will never see 11. Never see his mother hold him close. Never see his father cry. Dead. Jawad, son of Wali Muhammad, 11 years old, hungry, food is scarce. Cold, warmth is rare. Winter schools unheated, he would gladly sit inside one, shivering through the day to read the books that feed him happiness and hope. Dead. Umrah Khan, son of Safiola, 10 years old, he runs to his left, stops. Runs to his right, stops. Raises his arms in supplication, raises his head toward the sky, sinks to his knees, lowers his head to the ground, prays, cries, dead. Umar, son of Shir Muhammad, 10 years old, injured. He hid behind a tree and watched, witnessed for the children working on the hill, playing as they worked, laughing, screaming, dying as their killers smugly started lying. Umad, son of Shir Muhammad, 10 years old, had a shocking, contradicting story to be told, and the killers bowed their heads in sorrow false, and from their mouths they falsely asked forgiveness, thinking, Umad, sorry, you are now alive. All militaries do this, but I'm an American, I'm a vet. My fellow vets do these things, my government does these things. No one ever gets punished for it. But we're poets. We poets could end the American wars, the now wars, the century 2000 wars, the wars against the innocent, the children, the poor. We could whisper, end these wars. We could raise our poetic voices together, end these goddamn wars. We could shout in stanza after stanza, end these fucking wars. But we don't. We write of flowers and the sweet smell of spring, not once thinking of what an Iraqi father smelled of the spring flowers in bloom on the day his son met his doom, amid the boom of American bombs and the zoom of American bullets. We sing, listen to the choir of tenors, those who assure us that they and God oppose the war. The soprano beauty of mothers who support the troops, the bass of veterans who are proud to have killed anything that moved. Oh, sweet harmony, we sing to the gods of war. A father in Afghanistan holds the soft, warm hand of his daughter as they walk along a mountain path. Whoosh! The hand is gone. The daughter is gone. Unbelievable. Black magic, the queen of spades. Another terrorist meets her fate. America is safer now. The gods of war are pleased. God damn it, a poet could have saved her life. Instead, we join the chorus of support the troops. We harmonize patriotic songs to support the troops. We take the music of the flag, wrap it around us for warmth, and heat the words that support the troops. In truth, however, what we do is support the war. We support the drones. Think, for Christ's sakes. Look up in the sky. They come from you and me to Iraq, to Afghanistan, to Yemen, to Mali, Sudan, Somalia, to every poor bastard we brutalized over the year, to those we never knew, to those we never wanted to know. We poets could ground these drones, but we don't. We poets could end these wars, but we don't. Thank you.
Fred Norman, give him another round. He has books available. We're going to take a 5 to 7 minute, 10-minute break, somewhere like that. We have a few poets off to the break when we come back. We have Greg Pond, Mark Arts, and Buford as the mini, and then also Sarah maybe he's going to come back. Oh my God. So take a break, talk amongst yourselves, and really think about what he said. So we appreciate it.
My second daughter. And these are people from Scotland.
Ah, there you go. That was good.
I remember Carol.
Well, you didn't want to read it. I always ask everyone, you need to say something.
Yeah.
You want to call her?
I do. We're from
Oh my gosh.
the name. Now, often, of course, my boy lives here. And I like to
So did you have a good time yesterday, today?
Just started as basically a handful of people.
Yeah.
I was so tired.
That's what all the years our anniversary, our 50th Oh, that's where we usually sit, you know, when we start talking about it. And they found that it was so they were musicians, so they took out their earphones and they played it, for it. And Owen said, we planned this. Of course they did it, but it was perfect. It was wonderful. Yeah. What time's your flight? In the morning? Oh.
And these crosses, when you're there, look at it closely. You know, one day somebody's going to be
Right near their house.
Anyway, thank you, and you private night.
We start doing that with line up and sign up and Well, it would be really cool to bring a group in. When she comes, we can talk about things. I don't think a special thing.
And it's all about the timing from Lester. Yeah. Yeah. Their friends is there.
That's Teddy Bear? What is that? One for him, one for me. Okay, I do. It's a good bush.
And so when it comes to working, I put this together and I thought, well, this might be good to do like this. I turned it to the meat.
On the Saturday, yeah.
So I thought this might be at least I'm doing something.
It's spotless. Nobody ever messing with you. Oh, you're not harassing her, right? It just has a great.
They were in the beginning.
His work is like that. He's a very poignant writer.
And me, I talked to that picture that they took at the front of our house. And our contractor was there and brought his daughter. And she wow.
I've gone back to that.
Oh, yeah.
Which is that.
So you had to talk to Sarah?
Right there.
No, I didn't. How are you? Yeah, not bad at all.
No, I just got really nervous. We're good. I just,
I signed it.
Oh, you signed it already? Okay, good. Yeah, it's fine. But I do go back.
It is.
There you go.
And the one where you name the names.
No, I have one of those, she said. Of one of these.
Oh, the little children.
With all the children. Oh, that's typical. But you got it right. Whether you made up the stories or not, you got it right.
And you
To make it real.
we all know what it is.
Yeah. But just put it in their head.
That would be
Yeah.
great. Thank you. There you go.
Yeah, is it really a book?
Well, thanks. Yes, tell other people about it.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
We went to that farm. No, I went to D.C.
My
You know where it.
Yes. They have a reason for it. I said the extra time, like when you have the one. Thank you. I just called the office. I've never been there, but I was the mayor of it. Yeah, I got it. Godhead work.
This is for Thanksgiving. So up in Sacramento, our good friends in Sacramento.
But anyway, when I went there,
We're all going up there this year. And they called and asked
Making the stage. If you want to show them the age, I'll be turning you to the page. And if you don't sit down, I'll get into a raise. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. And if you want to know about this big comic that just flew in, the red local comic that went in and get a hold of the center of the earth, where the Dare DVD is going to do the jumping tomorrow. They saw the holes there. Is that a knocking? We'll learn how to knock it. Maybe it'll work, right?
I'm gonna play the bagpipes now.
Thank you so much. We're getting started. I'm getting started. Actually, I'm getting riled. So a man walks into a bar with a duck under his arm. And the bartender says, "Get that jackass out of here." And the man says, "This is a duck." And the bartender says, "I was talking to the duck." All right, so where'd my beer go? The binder. Oh, he's signing it. Who's next?
I don't know, let's see.
I knew you wanted to sign it, that's what I asked. Don't drop my papers on the floor, they're mine.
Where is it? Step.
Oh no, he's still doing his strings.
Okay, Marco Hart.
Marco Hart, get up now, for God's sakes, come on up heel. Sorry about that, I shouldn't speak that way, there's people who really speak that way, and it really embarrasses the heck out of me and them. Go, Mark.
This is my friend Mike. You might have met him before. Friend Mike. What do you want for nothing? Come on, dude.
I want eggs in my beer.
Oh, no, eggs in the beer.
I don't know, it's part of an old joke that I heard. I don't know if you want egg in your
Is
beer.
that Rocky Stallone?
All right, Mark?
Yes, it's me.
So this is Marco Hart, ladies and gentlemen, a well-known local Bay Area legend in his own right. He's outstanding in his field.
As my ex-wife used to say, even an ordinary horse can be outstanding in his own field. Yeah, Mark, you're a strong guy, but smelly and everything. She used to say that a lot. Smelly, it went away till this very day.
Are you going to start?
Yeah, I guess. I started right.
No, that means start, not that other word. I'm stopping now.
man is gone. Another man is gone. Another man is gone. The war took him on. Another man is gone. Another woman is gone. Another woman is gone. Another woman is gone. The war took her on. Another woman is gone. Another child is gone. Another child is gone. Another child is gone. The war took that child on. Another child is gone. Well, I wrote this one when first Bush was in office, and it's still, unfortunately, still applies. Grateful Dead said red and white, and them blue suede shoes. You can call my mess same old new U.S. blues. I am Uncle Scamp, I spell it S-C-A-M, and I've been hiding now in the swamps of Vietnam and in the sand with Saddam. I'll brag about killing Bin Laden. I will blind your mind. You will believe I am kind. I will poison all your waters, your unborn sons and daughters. Steal your women's voices, rob all of your choices, then I'll take your taxes. That's exactly what the facts is. I am Uncle Scamp. That's who the hell I am. And I just don't seem to give a good goddamn. But that genocide is just suicide. Uncle Scamp can't hide for too long. Our eyes are open way too wide. Yes, and our love is much too strong. Red and white, blue suede shoes. You can call my mail same old new U.S. blue. What's it gonna be between his wobble and me? Hate or harmony, peace or call insanity, friends or enemy. I am Uncle Scam, that's who the hell I am, and I've been hiding out in your rock and soul band.
That's fine, Uncle Scam. Now, as if it's not good enough already, we have a young gentleman in the house who doesn't know I'm talking about him yet, but does now. He didn't get a chance to get the heads up, but he has one now, and he's still good. He doesn't need much more than that. Mr. Greg Pond will come forth and hold the stand forth. And we will adjust the mic because he's that kind of guy. Is that good? I can't tell. That's fine. Well, you are fine. And now, if you don't mind, I'll stop.
Please don't.
No, it's not. If you invite me, I'll just keep on talking. That's not good.
Well, nice to be back. I've been away celebrating the Giants and World Series and all that. So.
Did we win?
Oh. All right. Okay. Here's a new one. It's kind of romantic. I wake and try to guess how it might be to see your head nestled on my morning pillow, cuddled next to me. After a night of sensitive sex and a dawn of sweet dreams, where you were fantastic and I aimed to please. Didn't take very long at all to find the rhythm between our hands and legs tangled and wrapped in crumpled sheets that felt like the folds of waves that rocked love's boat at the dock of our bay, with currents turning me this and rolling you that way. At the end of the day, may we softly lay in each other's arms, heart to heart, anchored in the warmth of our joint embrace.
Yeah.
And I'm a little late, but one day after the election day, first Tuesday blues. On the first Tuesday of any November, in the not too glorious past, guard dogs and hoses protected polling places from ballots about to be cast by the wrong colored faces. Undemocratically denied hard-earned civil rights. A slice of slavery winks its eye. These days, the first Tuesdays of every November are divided red and blue, and white usually ends up right, no matter who we choose, with minorities left to succumb to whatever majority rules. Guard dogs that used to chase and bite are now watchdogs assigned to protect our rights, while Uncle Sam holds the leash. A bald-headed eagle winks its eye. And these next two are inspired by Fred's reading. This one I hadn't planned to read, but hearing his reading inspired me to read this one. It's entitled The Righteous Side. On the righteous side, the heroes are always our guys, patriotically well defended by God and national pride. We're the only ones we believe who grieve whenever we combat and die, with each carefully counted, next of kin officially notified. Folded flag, triangle style, 3-volley salute, new death certificate filed. Meanwhile, orphans, mothers, and wives mourn no more here than on the other side, over lands of jungle and sand to places where the sun doesn't shine. The loss and pain affects us all the same, through concrete desert or tropical rain, whether military blessed or white shroud dressed, the result is the same. When bullets strike flesh, when bombs leave fighters 1 or 2 limbs less, does anyone ever really win a war when hearts are broken and bereft, right and left of the enemy line? Too many end up dying when everyone keeps trying to claim the righteous side. And one more poem that, strangely enough, I heard the poem within Fred's poem, one of Fred's poems earlier tonight, so I'm going to read this, and it's entitled, Who Kills Children? Who kills children in brazen view, while the world and wide looks sideways and still? Countless little wings prematurely await a one-hop sojourn to heaven's gate, sweatshop labor or brainwashed fate, battlefields of gang and war littered with hearts broken by hate. Accidental bullets blindly seek the flesh of the innocent, the souls of the meek. Who kills children, then cowardly flees, leaving flies to buzz a malicious swarm over the poorest disease? With poisoned minds, acid tongues, hugs of ice. Who kills children from womb to puberty, giving them eyes too early in life to see the guilt of illicit intimacy, or ingest the stench of abuse? The pressure of taboo sex made to grow too fast, too soon, before the best lessons had time enough to root. Who kills children at Sugar Rush Zoo, feeding drugs neglected to spare, then counts their corpses for census proof with the most casual flair? Kidnapped and snuffed, lives so little and lost. Who kills children in twisted schemes, gambling with the future of the American dream? Too many chairs, few teachers to spare, not enough books to share, little grows without some green. I mean, who kills children and just makes it seem like a day at the beach, and not the very least of all human things? Thank you.
I want to apologize, the beeper went off, I didn't set it.
I'm sorry for...
No, you didn't go over, the beeper was set wrong, so, and I didn't notice it until the beep and I slammed it. Sorry about that. I hate it when the beeper goes off in the midst of something, you know. Anyway, Steph is going to come up and do a 5 minutes, and then we have Marco and then Buford, so we are set to go.
Marco Hart.
No, I meant, well, there's another Marco. Marco too, right?
Yeah, I'm Mark.
You got a fighter or imitator or?
Baumgartner.
That's
Great name. But I did kind of prepare, but anyway. Go ahead. Once upon a time there was a tavern where we used to raise a glass or two. Remember how we laughed away the hours? Remember and dreamed of the great things that we would do.
Is anyone sitting here?
Those were the days, my friend. We thought they'd never end. We'd sing and dance forever and day. We lived a life, choose. We'd fight and never lose, for we were young. La 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 la. days, my friend, we thought we'd never been. We'd sing and dance forever and a day. The light is bright and never lose. But we were young and sure to have our way. La 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 la. Those were the days. Oh yes, those were the days. Just tonight I stood before the tavern. Nothing seemed the way it used to be. In the glass I saw a strange reflection. Was that homely Rasta guy really me? Those were the days, my friend, we thought they'd never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day. We lived a life that you might have never known. For we were young and sure to have our way. La 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 la. Those were the days. Yes, those were the days. Just like I passed before the tavern. Through the door there came familiar laughter. I saw your face and heard you call my name. Oh, my friend, oh, but no wise. For in our hearts the dreams are still the same. Day, my friend, we thought we'd never sing and dance forever and a day. There's a light we choose, we fight and never lose. For we were young and sure to have our way. La 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 la. That's my comrade Steve.
Okay. Just to make sure he wasn't, going through stuff and stuff.
No,
But,
he's another hoarder. Anyhow, so, but in lieu of the fact that I didn't prepare, I decided to play stuff you've already heard. No, I don't have time.
Yeah.
I don't have time.
Okay, bring that next time. Bring that next time. Okay.
Hey, Seth.
Thank you, Seth.
That's step, inch, and. I am a 1-inch stepper. 1-inch stepper.
1-inch stepper stepper. All right, so we're going to have our Buprins to close. Wait, Marco, then come on, Marco. Sorry about that. Then we got to close it up tonight. Take fantastic prizes, which are designed, like I say, with your minds in mind. This is an approximation. No, that's not good. That's probably better. That's probably better. All right.
Well, for heaven's sakes, I can't believe I'm doing that.
Well, you
I
come up,
know, I know. I know you shouldn't start any speech or certainly not a poem by an apology, but I don't know who wrote this. It's written by a black gentleman in Texas, is all I know. A very good friend of mine who's a preacher who sincerely thinks that deep inside his soul he's actually a black man, sent this to me. You may have heard it. Somebody in this room could have even written it. If you haven't heard it, you'll probably enjoy it. When you black, you black. When I was born, I was black. When I grew up, I was black. When I went in the sun, I stayed black. When I got cold, I was black. When I was scared, I was black. When I was sick, I was black. And when I die, I will still be black. Now, you white folks,
When you're born, you're pink. When you grow up, you're white. When you go into the sun, you get red. When you're cold, you turn blue. When you're scared, you're yellow. When you get sick, you're green. And when you bruise, you turn purple. And when you die, you look gray. So who do you all be calling colored folk?
I like that. That's good. All right. Mr. Buford's coming up, and he's going to give us a brief presentation, an 8-minute mini feature. He chose that last week, and we'll find out how that's done in due course. But now give him a round of applause. As the president of the Church tonight holds forth the gift, stands tall, and regales us. Oh, sorry, I should have just
In my mind, I'm tall. You know, I have an aura. All right, this is called, let's start it off right, I hope. This is called Take Me Out. Take me out to AT&T Park where the rich have great tickets, and my buddies and I stand underneath the right field bleachers for 3 innings for free. The world and the Giants so happy for me. Baseball's Buster P, Hunter Pence, a man with some sense of fun who appreciates fans. Tim Lincecum could make the ball hum. Now he's in the pen, still the strangest of men. His baseball season, hot smoking, near broken, maybe. And then there's Brandon Belt, the big man with a thirst for stopping line drives and supporting giraffes. They have almost Mickey Mantle's talent and don't drink as much, I hope. Mad Bum, the near perfect lefty, Panic, closing the second base gap. Okay, that's my World Series. World Series. Okay. Now here's one about my romantic life a few years ago. This is called Joan and the Sofa. We held each other on our family sofa, our arms around each other there at 22 years old. We took time out from kissing, drank Coca-Cola, 90+ degrees outside, 60-something degrees air-conditioned inside. She would have wanted to marry me, I think, ready in a way I wasn't, about to go off to Atlanta, just having serious fun there in Mobile, Alabama. As she said, I love you, Buford, underneath her breath, there in that superficial cool inside, a young heat consuming what was left of my growing up life, almost off to the next chapter, Atlanta, about to be a better, fuller adult life. All right. And here's one about my student, my favorite student. This is called Randall and the Teacher. I've changed his name a little bit, but it's close to that. I talked to him and he seemed to be listening. He had said, I hate her. She doesn't let me do anything I want to do. There would have been fire in his eyes, I think, if it weren't for his frustration. He continued. What does she do for me except give me a hard time, he wondered. He was serious. His brown eyes were sharp and angry beneath his dark crew cut. I don't know what I'm going to do next year after I graduate, he worried. Well, going to the transition class with me last week showed you a possibility for a job, I said. I think they want you in that class, and you can work with Mr. W all the time that way, I told him. The tension around his eyes softened. But she's going to give me such a hard time, he said of his current teacher.
The only person who matters is you. Give it all you've got and you'll be fine, I told him. Then I asked him, you ready to go back to class? Okay, he said, some enthusiasm creeping in as we got up from the benches outside of the gym. How much? Alright. Mostly, oh, okay. Okay. This is called We the Big Strike Radicals Who Can't Afford to Strike. The security guard union rep comes into the class where I work. She shows me a proclamation stating that the union's intention to strike if the administration does not give us our demand for a 2% raise this year, followed by consecutive 3% raises in the next 2 years after this one. My supervisor says, I can't get anyone to take care of Eduardo in the wheelchair who has meningitis if he goes on strike, meaning me. I guess you could say we're making progress and at least scaring one of the lowest level administrators. The problem is that we've been paid so poorly already that striking may just hurt us more. A couple of us at least has signed up for strike insurance, but of course, it just may be damned if you do and damned if you don't time, with the noose around everybody's neck except maybe the administrators who may scab us all out.
All right, so this is the concluded portion of this evening's program, and handing these cards over to Buford, who will shuffle them. Now, if you were a reader, they're signed up next to a number. The cards each have a number. They're being shuffled, and some of these fine prizes. It's okay. That shuffles them even more. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Isn't that right, Dan?
Yes, it is right.
Hot dog, everyone's a wiener.
Yes. Again, it is the many features one card. The opening keynote has another. Poetry magazine. Farewellian. Now this was written by a guy who featured here not too long